Oh, don't I look like old sleepyhead this morning? Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing? On my second cup of coffee, I just got started. It's Friday. It's cold in Atlanta, y'all. Um, good morning. Let's check around, see if we're all connected. There we are on Instagram. Good morning, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok, of course. How's everybody doing this morning? I'm going to get out of here in a little bit and get to going doing some things, but it's cold here this morning in the city of Atlanta. Yeah, yesterday was the first day of spring, and my God, started out kind of okay in the morning. By the 2 o'clock in the afternoon, it was just cold. Y'all come on in over here on TikTok. Come on in, sit a spell, as they say in the South. Good morning. I was sitting there. I haven't watched the news, and y'all know I'm not really watching the news that much anymore. But you do see these little headlines pop up coming across your iPhone, and then you see other people on social media, on Facebook and TikTok and Instagram, and all posting articles from, the Washington Post, and New York Times, and ABC and CNN, and all this kind of stuff. And so I was seeing this morning where Pete Hegseth, I think that's how you say his name, the Defense Department head, that is this crazy times or what, that the temperature dropped 15 degrees in 2 minutes yesterday. Yeah, it got cold, didn't it? Good morning over on TikTok. Let me take a minute to just say good morning to all these people. 37 degrees here, Sharon says. It's about 36 here in Atlanta. My face might be right up in the camera of this Facebook thing, yeah. Hey, y'all look at this. Y'all can see it better. See these eyelids? Wait, let's see how that eyelid is. Get out the front camera, Eddie. But anyhow, that's what I went to the doctor yesterday about eyelids. But anyhow, good morning. I was seeing on the news that Pete Hegseth, the from the Defense Department, has removed Colin Powell's name and stuff about Colin Powell, Medgar Evers, and mainly just black folks, Hispanic and women, from the Arlington Cemetery website and from the Defense Department websites, taking away Colin Powell. I mean, how much more of a decent human being than good morning, Pam, over on Facebook. I mean, y'all, are y'all in a bubble? Or do you people out there that think, oh, yeah, it's just fine. It's just typical fineness. I mean, are we living in a bubble where in 2025 in America, black prominent leaders of our country are being washed off the websites of Arlington Cemetery? I mean, what if I went to Arlington Cemetery and I wanted to go visit the grave of one of the great political and military leaders of the 20th century, General Colin Powell, and he's nowhere to be found. You have to just figure out where he's buried out here, because you can't, there's no anything telling you what grave it is. And what but Fox News is now running the nation. And I even thought about this morning. I'm not going to be on here a whole long time, but just a couple of things. I thought about this morning. When we were in the Harris when I was part of the Harris campaign and was campaigning, well, we'd see online where all these MAGA people were just outraged. How dare she can be the Democratic nominee? She never got one single vote. There was no primary. She was not duly elected as the Democrat nominee. Of course, all the rules were followed to pass it off to her. But all these MAGA people were just outraged. How dare she run for president? She's never. And then I thought about that in the context of how dare Elon Musk, who's never received one vote of any kind in his life, from city council to mayor to governor to senator to congressperson to vice president, never has received one vote. And yet he's been given carte blanche just to go into our Social Security And y'all now y'all starting to see. Y'all thought I was just crying wolf back 3 or 4 months ago and before the election. Y'all thought all of us naysayers was just hollering and crying wolf when we said, watch out, they're coming after Social Security. And now we see where they're starting to now close all kind of Social Security offices. They're mandating that people have to come into a Social Security office to prove who they are, submit a claim, and as they're closing and getting rid of thousands of workers of Social Security to make it more difficult. That's almost reminds me of the old thing in years ago. There was a story about some place in Alabama or something that black people, they'd ask them to sign their name in order to be able to vote. And they want them to try to sign it on a piece of wax paper, So it's saying you can still do it, but it's real difficult. And yeah, Pam, everybody is finding out. I mean, for all of those voices out there in the country, from the little bitty Eddie Williams Sellers to the big people of the Don Lemons, to the Liz Cheneys, to the prominent voices in our country that even that have been telling people, watch out, they're coming for, good morning, Valerie, they're coming for your Social Security, they're coming for your Medicaid, they're coming for your Medicare. And I reposted something yesterday or the day before where Joy Reid did like an 8-minute video standing in her home. And she went down the whole list about how these very, very wealthy people with lots of money have always been against taxes. Therefore, if they're against taxes, they're against Social Security, they're against food stamps, they're against children having lunch access in public schools. And good morning, Chris, over there. Good to see you again. I hadn't been coming on live too much. Over on TikTok. And so now all of our voices that we've been crying wolf, now we're starting to see the Department of Education in theory should not be able to be dissolved and done away with. It should take an act of Congress to do that. But they're ramrodding the courts, they're running over people. And in the video that I'm talking fast, Dana, I'll give out if I don't slow down. In the video I posted the other day of Joy Reid, she went down through the history of Social Security. Social Security just came into effect in the 30s. Franklin Delano Roosevelt, he got the what they call the big government programs going, welfare, Social Security, help for people. The country really needed it. And and then ever since then, Republicans have always been against Social Security, been against taxes, been against Medicaid. I mean, how can you be in what is known as the richest country in the world? If you take away the Department of Education, people will remain ignorant from generation to generation. How can you take and say a 5 or 6 year old kid, a child that lives in Edenton, Georgia, or out here in Hiawassee, Georgia, that's sickly, don't cover them. Don't cover them. If they don't got insurance, don't cover them. If they're poor, don't cover them. And this is what MAGA has thrust upon the country. So you're going to see, I keep going back to the video Joy Reid posted where she says, I watched that series on HBO called The Gilded Age, about the railroad tycoons, and the girl that plays in The Gilded Age is now on The White Lotus. And, but The Gilded Age was going back to the Vanderbilts. If you go down to Jekyll Island, they got the summer houses of the Macy's and the Vanderbilts and all the prominent families of the Gilded Age. And so these people had massive amounts of wealth, and they only felt like the needy should be charity for the wealthy people to decide who they want to help and who they don't want to help, and therefore they would, they set on all these philanthropy back then was to help the poor people, the uneducated, the ignorant hillbillies up here that voted for Donald Trump, that came out wrong, but yeah, but anyway, now we're starting to see with prominent, not just prominent, with Black Americans that have made their place in history, take them off the White House web pages. Take them off the Arlington Cemetery web pages. If you go to Arlington Cemetery now, you can't find the grave of Medgar Evers. You can't find all that's being deleted off of websites. Y'all, we are in and I'm going to keep saying this, we are in the beginning of a white people takeover of America. And and they hide behind the term Christian, white nationalist Christian people taking over the country. They want to dissolve Social Security. They want to do away with this. And basically what it is, even though the very wealthy, like the Warren Buffetts and the Donald Trumps and the Elon Musk paid very little, if not any. Donald Trump hadn't paid any taxes in 16 years, according to IRS records. It is kind of terrifying. And the thing about it is they won't, even though they pay very little in taxes, while they're in this coup of taking over the country, and this is basically what's happened to our country, there is a coup going on, and they are whitewashing and deleting, getting rid of thousands of people. They don't know how it's going to end out, but they want the system so disrupted that the wealthy oligarchs of this country will never have to pay taxes again, and everybody else is just going to be on their own. If you're just going to be on your own. And let me tell you what happens in countries. There's a reason why that there's government helps for Social Security, welfare, Medicaid, food stamps, and all like that. But the reason is a society that becomes really unhappy, they create revolution, and crime becomes massive. Desperate people do desperate things. And when you take away people's food, people become desperate, and so it's very disheartening, very disturbing what's going on in the country. But I'm telling you, to take away General Colin Powell name off of Arlington Cemetery for that alcoholic piece of crap that was on Fox News, that womanizer, that has all these people that's come out and said he's just not a decent man. For him to be able to have the power to take and do that, that's disgusting, y'all. And then we have our brethren and our sisters and our fellow people that we sat on the pews at church with, sitting there with their little victory in Jesus. Oh, we love our country, and playing the guy that I'm proud to be an American, at least I know I'm free. And for them to sit silent now, while black people are being whitewashed off the web pages of Arlington. And I mean, who are these people? Who are these people? It's very disgusting when you think about it. Yeah, Marie, that's what I was trying to say. That's a better way of saying it. Marie says, no justice, no peace. And I'm telling you, when you start taking away people's food, start taking away their Medicaid, let's go back with no taxes and everybody just on their own. Everybody's already armed with a rifle now. You ain't seen warfare in the streets until you see a restless, hungry people that's desperate. And I don't know why Elon and Donald is so determined to destroy the country. They're determined to just upend and destroy the country. And they pull all these other things about getting Russia to have peace in Ukraine. They ain't going to get peace in Ukraine. Yeah, the people are too ignorant up there trying to do this. They're not going to get peace in Ukraine. They're not going to get peace in Gaza because they're ignorant. They're a bunch of ignorant people up there. And it's a distraction. All the stuff, he'll come out today. I don't know what's going to happen, but today there'll be something else. He'll tweet, he'll do whatever to kind of keep everybody's minds off of what Elon's doing to Social Security, what he's doing to Medicare, what he's doing to the veterans. The veterans, can y'all believe these same people who for 50 years have sworn that they're for the veterans? They're for the veterans. And they're just going in there and gutting the Veterans Administration, slashing thousands of employees we just came through a pandemic for 3 years. They went in there, and the National Institutes of Health and the CDC, and just let thousands of people go in the research of pandemic and to prepare us as a country. I mean, we lost millions of people the last time Donald Trump was president. Is that not good enough? Is that not enough? That what now they want to lose 20 million people? Maybe they think we have too many people in the country, and a lot of them that needs to go. So now they're talking about segregation in the military. Yeah, y'all. So I'm telling you, you be vigilant. Don't go asleep during all this, because I'm telling you, there's a white nationalist coup that's going on across this country. And it's going on in state houses and in federal buildings. There is a coup that's going on. Valerie over here says, I'm veteran. I've lost access to my therapist. Yeah, and even with the doctor mentioned me yesterday, because I'm scheduled in August to get some eyelid work done on my face. Look at me looking like a crazy person. And the doctor says, well, your insurance pay for it. I'm like, I don't know if it will or not. With Elon up there, I mean, is there going to be Medicaid in August? I'm not on Medicaid. Is there going to be Medicare in August? Is there going to be a Social Security check? I'm telling you, just think about this for a fact. If you look at this, just this one thing right here this morning. Y'all remember Colin Powell? Colin Powell was he was a decent man. Just him and his wife, they were decent. He could have been president if he'd wanted to. His family didn't want him to run. But believe me, if he had ran as president, the Bushes and everybody else would have got behind him. He would have been the president. He didn't want to do that. You have to want that power and want to be a leader or want to be president. Colin Powell didn't want to do it. Just think about this, to take his name off of Arlington Cemetery. Does that not show you MAGA people something? Does it not show you anything? Does it not make you wonder, what the fuck? What the fuck are they doing? Why are you not saying, what the fuck? Good heavens. I mean, Colin Powell, Medgar Evers, good Lord. Y'all is just, yeah, I don't know about that, Josh. Said Medicaid, Medicare are going to be okay. They've been threatening to take it away for 40 years. But I agree with you. They have been threatening to do it. Now, I'm telling you, Donald Trump is the strongest president in American history. I didn't say the greatest, but the strongest. He has the power, and he's intimidated the courts. We no longer have a Supreme Court that has any balls to them that would stand up and put a correction in place. He's calling for impeachments, which is basically assaults on federal judges. He's the strongest president in our nation's entire history. And for you to think that even though they've been threatening it for 40 years, they can't really do it, I'll tell you they can do it. And in the months ahead, we're going to see other dominoes start to fall, where they're going to make it almost impossible. It wouldn't surprise me if they didn't, if nothing else, change the age requirement and make you to be 75, 80 years old before you even apply for Social Security. So, and my thing is, I turned 70 in September. Y'all, regardless of what happens over the next few years, I'm going to be fine. I've got one foot in the yonder land, glory land. I got one foot in East Point, Georgia. I'm going to be fine. I've lived most of my life, probably 90% of my life. But my God, I got grandkids that's got to come up in this country. And this country's, and all these oligarch billionaires, that this system that they're trying to destroy now allowed them to become oligarchs and billionaires and millionaires and live affluent, and they made great lives in America. They want to destroy that now for other people that, for whatever reason, they just want to keep hoarding the money, And even though I'm not a Bernie Sanders supporter, I mean, Bernie Sanders has been saying for years, it's the very wealthy that's running this country. And they have been, and now they're out on the front lines openly running the country. So I'm going to tell y'all, that when the congressional races start back up, there's 435 House seats coming up. We've we can't just kind of like, yeah, ain't no much we do. We got to get re-energized and refocused, and we got to protest, and we got to make our voices heard, and we got to have a revival amongst us, in the people that will be, I'm getting texts coming in, whatever. But anyhow, y'all, just coming on this morning and just telling you, can you believe they took Colin Powell's name off Arlington Cemetery? Pete Hugson's. Yeah, it's disturbing, isn't it? So anyhow, let me get out of here. I got some stuff to go do, but good morning, everybody. Top of the morning to you. Hope you're doing well. It's cold here in Atlanta. We're going to have a good weekend. I'm talking too much. I used up all my words. Now I'm talked out. Let me see right here. Good morning. Good morning. Hi. Star says they're racist. You know, I'll just say this for the MAGA people that watch this. If you're not racist, I'm not saying you're racist. If you're not racist, my God, you sure are okay with other people being racist. Because, I mean, how can you support them taking Colin Powell's name off the Arlington Cemetery? I mean, what's wrong with you? I mean, do you hate our country that goddamn bad? Seriously? You hate our country that goddamn bad that a general, the 4-star general, because he is a black man, that's the only thing he's ever done that they don't like, being black. They can't point to anything else. Oh, he did this, he did that. He had a record that was beyond whatever. The only thing he was guilty of was being black to Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump, you know. And if you're not racist, my God, Lord help us, you know. Just being black, get your name taken off of it. Medgar Evers, good Lord. And thousands of other black Americans just take their names off. They part of Colin Powell's part of the DEI, you know. Good Lord. What's wrong with us, people? Y'all better wake up. I tell you what, when you go to check your bank account that month and your Social Security didn't get in there, you're going to have a lot of people out here saying, well, what did you expect? I'm going to tell you where it's heading to. The same people that screamed for years and years and years about everybody should have no restrictions, carry any kind of gun they want. And now that there's so much gun violence across our country, unlike any other nation on earth, people's like, well, we need to build more jails. Well, what did you think would happen when you unleash tens of millions of unlicensed guns out into the population? What do you think they're going to play ping pong with them? No, they're going to kill people. And same thing when you go to check your bank accounts and your insurance and your Social Security check and all's all been messed up, and then you can't get nobody online and you can't get an appointment to go down there and see what's going on with it. What did you think would happen? You know, what did you think would happen? Yeah. Anyway, I'm getting out of here and go get my weekend started. Love y'all. Love everybody. Yeah, I'm just taking a few minutes to compartmentalize it. Colin Powell have his name stripped off of Arlington Cemetery. Colin Powell. And for what? For being black? My God, y'all, it's 2025. What the hell's wrong with y'all? Good heavens.